Some of the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, vaccines currently in development could increase recipients' risk of developing HIV infection, a new study published in The Lancet suggests. Researchers say efforts to create an HIV vaccine more than a decade ago did the same thing, and now it is happening all over again as governments and drug companies rush to produce a jab that will get the world back to normal. These HIV vaccines of old contained a modified virus known as adenovirus 5, AD5, that was supposed to function as a vector to transport some of HIV's genetic material into the body for immune purposes. Problems arose, however, when AD5 started to infect people with HIV directly. There are currently 4 COVID-19 vaccine candidates in the running around the world that use similar technology, including one in the United States, as well as one in Russia and another in Pakistan. Another had been in the works in Australia as well until trial participants there started to test positive for HIV. Researchers warn that AD5 could increase the risk of HIV infection, and drug companies and governments need to be aware of this. Informed consent for such vaccines, should they be tested and released, need to reflect the considerable literature that exists concerning the risk of HIV acquisition with AD5 vectors. More related news about Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, vaccines and the risks they pose in terms of HIV infection can be found at pandemic.news. COVID-19 appears to have been engineered with AIDS-like insertions in Australia. Vaccine scientists Nikolai Petrovsky attempted to warn the nation's government about the risks associated with including HIV in a potential COVID-19 vaccine. Petrovsky's warning came before Australia signed a $1 billion deal for the faulty vaccine, which ultimately failed. Earlier this year, a team of Indian scientists discovered that the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, appears to have been engineered with insertions derived from AIDS. A study they published concluded that it is highly unlikely the novel virus was a product of nature, suggesting that it was deliberately engineered. This study was later retracted after receiving heavy criticism from the establishment, but Nobel Prize-winning French virologist Luc Montagnier ultimately confirmed that the study's findings were, in fact, correct. 4 unique AIDS-like insertions have been identified in the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, that are said to have caused it to jump from animals to humans. Under natural circumstances, the virus would have stayed within only the animal kingdom. These proteins are critical for the viruses to identify and latch onto their host cells and for viral assembly, the aforementioned study found. Since surface proteins are responsible for host troism, changes in these proteins imply a change in host specificity of the virus. According to reports from China, there has been a gain of host specificity in case 2019 nCoV as the virus was originally known to infect animals and not humans, but after the mutations, it has gained troism to humans as well. Great Game India likewise confirmed that COVID-19 was manufactured in a lab and intentionally weaponized. Emails obtained via public records requests show that the natural origin of coronavirus was a myth orchestrated for the purpose of deceiving the public. Meanwhile, Communist China has begun to use various AIDS drugs to treat the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19. ABBV Incorporated SHIV drugs are being administered as treatment for pneumonia caused by the novel virus while researchers around the globe press on in search of a cure for it. The EcoHealth Alliance, which works alongside the Wuhan Institute of Virology to genetically modify coronaviruses, is claiming at the very same time that anyone who suggests the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, came from unnatural sources is spreading baseless conspiracy theories. To do.text.